Hey y'all, it's time again. Um, I thought this week I wanted to talk about receiving and some things that go along with that. So there is, there is a verse in the Bible that says and everybody knows it. It says it's better to give than to receive, and that is true. It's absolutely true. It's got to do not only with having a surplus in your own life, but it's got to more so it's got to deal with the condition of the heart. Condition of the heart. That's really what it's got to do with. It's better to give than to receive. But at the same time, it is very crucial and something that we don't always really think about, this idea of receiving and the things that you receive, the things that you allow in to your being, right? Um, I don't know that it'll make any sense to you, but even in real estate, I think it's pretty funny, and it does got to do, that even just the rudimentary laws of man confirm it. That in a real estate transaction, right, I can give you my property, I can deed it to you, and that's what's funny is that the person given the property, they have to sign it over. They have to sign their name, and you would think that the person receiving it has got to sign as well because it's a document and all that, contracts and all that stuff, but that's not really true. Only person that's got to sign is the person giving it. The person receiving it only has to receive it. And this is by the law. Now, there does, when it comes to real estate, especially in a transaction, it has to be notarized. So in other words, there has to be a witness, and that witness does have to sign, saying that they witness the transaction. They witness the person giving it. They witness more than that. They witness the person receiving it, right? But that's just amazing to me. Just that fact of how those things did, and it even is just confirmed in the ways of man's law, you know. So it's very valuable when we talk about these things of truth, and that is crucial. You need to be able to receive things, but in truth, and not receive things that are bad, that are not good for you. So when it comes to, like, let's say love, right? And of course, always actions speak louder than words, and things have other confirmations. So I'm not just talking about somebody's mouth service and just saying something, but there is, love, and people love you, but you also have to receive those things. You have to receive the love. I don't know how else to put it, man, but that's very valuable. It's very true, man. Uh, uh, and it goes in lots of other areas too. When people, it's kind of that actions speak louder than words thing, and you know, when people are of character and of the truth, you know, it's valuable to see those things. So this is, and I'm talking about an inward thing. I'm not talking about flesh things, even though earth things, that is a part of it. But like we've been talking about, at the core of everything is within. It's not without. It's within. So, so this is what this is about: receiving, seeing that, see it for yourself, think for yourself, receive truth, receive love, receive grace, receive mercy, man. These things are out of our control, and not everything that we're deserving of. Sometimes we do get things that we don't deserve, but sometimes we get things we do deserve too. So, but above all, receive truth, man. Receive love. Receive those good things of life. So this is about receiving and about that idea and that mentality. But I did, as a side thing, but also in this, and in the seeing, right? Seeing things in your life. I think it's valuable to see your part in things. You know, I don't know if I said it with you guys, but it'll come up more now. But I've said a long time with people and in conversations this thing about it is a spiritual thing, and that we do need each other, and we do need each other, and that we carry each other, and we do carry each other. So, in that, you know, there is this, and we're probably gonna have to talk more about it, and I just want to put it out there, and I don't want you to take it a wrong way or a bad way, because you always, if you need help, reach out, man. I'm not saying by any means do not reach out. By all means, reach out. But there comes parts and places in things and in our operations that you know that you might not be doing all that you can, or maybe you feel it should be this way or that way, or maybe you feel if I do this, then they'll react like this, and I can kind of, you know, get a toe in on things and stuff like that, man. And I don't know, I don't think that's the right way to act. That ain't the right way to carry yourself. So when I say see your part, this is a thing that's making you strong, man. It's not a thing to condemn you. But see your part. And be strong as much as you can with things. Again, I'm gonna keep saying it, and I want to stress it. I understand that we hit low spots in life and in our being, you know, and that's what I'm not talking about, those moments, because those moments you can't be strong enough. There ain't no strong enough within. So you need to reach out, man. You do need to reach out. I'm not talking about that, because we all have moments, but don't let a moment define you. Let the whole of who you are be what defines you. And so, you know, we do carry each other. And don't be somebody who always has to be carried. I'm talking about real inner strength. Real strength. You know, when I have friends, and my friends are going through things, you know, that's just a part of relationships and things that you talk about it, and you deal with things however you can, and you work through things. That's a part of what I'm talking about as far as the carrying each other, being there for each other. A lot of times you can't do nothing about it. You know, if you're $100,000 in debt and you need the money right now, and I ain't got it, I can't help you as far as with the cash, but we still carry each other. And there's a place there on the mother sides of things that we're there for each other. So this is what I'm talking about. And I'm stressing it again, I'm not saying you can't reach out and don't reach out and don't, you know, that it's bad when you have these moments of weakness and stuff or whatever. But I guess the point I'm just trying to drive is don't always be the needy one. Don't always be the one who's, you know, down and sad and that's probably putting it the wrong way. But just don't always be the needy one. Be somebody who's there for other people too and can help. Strength is not just in the muscle, and it's not just in the action as far as, you know, standing my ground and blah, 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 blah. There's strength. There's real strength. And these are the things that I'm talking about with even though I don't got good examples of it. And so that's what I'm saying. Don't always be sad. Don't always be mad and outraged about something. Don't always be down and, oh, it's the worst and worst, and it's always the worst and the worst and the worst. That's not true. It's not always the worst and the worst and the worst. If you can't ever see anything better, then Truth is, there's probably something wrong with your eyes because life is good. It is good. And we have each other, and that is good. And even if we didn't have each other, life is still good. There is good around us. So you choose what you see. You choose whether you see the glass half full or the glass half empty. And I'm just saying, man, choose to be a half full type of person. This really does have to do with that receiving thing. Because even in the Bible it says, I place before you life and death. And even in the Bible, he says, I place before you life and death. And then he goes further to say, in the Bible, choose life. He's like, man, if you can't think of it for yourself, here, let me help you out. Choose life. He said, I set before you blessings and cursings. Choose blessings. And this has got to do with that thing of what you receive. What you receive, it does matter. It's important. The things that you allow into your mind and to work on your being and in your brain and in your thoughts and stuff, that is something, there are areas of that you choose. The most of your life ain't what everybody else does to you. And things happen, and it's just so out of your hands. And, oh, it just happened. My controller, I pushed the button, but it just didn't work. That's not how it works, man. And anytime you say that, the mop didn't mop the floor. No, that's not how it works. You're supposed to mop. You mop the floor. The mop ain't got no. So this is what I mean as far as, and that's conversations of responsibility and stuff. And we'll come to that someday. But like I said, really the point I'm just saying is that thing of receiving, choosing what you're going to do and receive the good things of life. Receive the truth. Receive those good things of God, man. It is very valuable and very important, man. Another aspect of it, and I know that you guys have heard me talk about staying in your hell, right? When these things are against you and you're feeling, mad about situations or sad about things, and in these places within yourself that are not good. We've talked about it before, and these things are with emotions and all this kind of stuff, and staying in those mully grubs and wallowing in that mud pit, you know what I mean? You've heard me say it. You're staying in your hell. You're staying in hell. And don't stay in hell. See, this is another one of those things of receiving, because God has given us ways that we don't have to stay there. He said, yea, there'll be a walk through the valley of death, but you're with me. But the thing is that we're walking through it. You don't have to stay there. When people do the things that they do to themselves, it's because they don't see out the other side of it. They don't think there's any other thing. But they don't see it and they don't think it because they don't receive it. I guarantee you, without a doubt, somebody has told them people, hey, look, let's stick it out. We'll get through it. Hey, look, people do love you. People do care for you. It's not realistic to, all throughout the course of your life that somebody there every moment, every second have to hold your hand, do. That's what I'm talking about. There are places where you need to receive what is true and stand on your own strength in times, in places, in areas. This is a very hard conversation, man. If you give me a little credit, you'll see what I'm saying. I'm not in no way am I saying don't reach out for help. If you need help, get some help, please. Man, get help. But the only point I'm saying is don't always be someone so needy of somebody else to do something for you. Receive the truth, man. I want nothing but the best for you. I want nothing but goodness and the best for you. Even at the cost. I don't want to go there. I just want the best for you. But I can't force you to do anything. I can't force you to receive. All I can do is tell you that I love you. But I can't force you to receive it. I can't force you to see that it is true. Even though there may be things and ways that you say, oh, my dad, he should do this and that. He should do this and that. He should do this and that. You know, you're choosing what you see. And you might not be, really receiving some other things that are there that are reality. But you're young and we're getting through these things. This is what I mean. We need each other. And we're there for each other. And we do carry each other. So, what are you receiving? What do you receive? Do you receive the good or do you receive the bad? There's another verse in the Bible where he says, I think myself happy. And that ain't got nothing, that ain't talking about affirmations and stuff, which there may be something I don't know. I don't do affirmations, but whatever. But it ain't that. And it ain't, fooling yourself into thinking something that ain't. It's got to do with taking control over your mind and your being and over your spirit and lifting yourself up and being good and working toward and agreeing with what is good and what is true. And that's what I'm saying is that these areas are things that we have to receive. It don't just, you have to receive it. That's why he talks about blessed are your eyes for they see. Talking about those people who see. Blessed are your ears for they hear. And it's talking about these higher things. It ain't talking about my physical eyes seeing something or my physical ears hearing something. It talks about, because you see these things and you realize the value of them and they're important. And that's what I mean. It starts with receiving. These things are very important and they're very crucial. So, we're a little over 15 minutes. I did have a couple other notes, but we made this a little bit shorter one. I got a couple. There's a note that says you can't blame others. You can't blame others. It said give mercy, give people mercy, and give people grace. That ain't got nothing to do with somebody walking over you and stomping on you or taking advantage of you. No, I'm not talking about that. But I'm talking about those areas of where people make stupid mistakes. We all do. Just because somebody don't do something the way you think it should be done, when you're driving or whatever, and use your turn signals or put on your seatbelt, let the people live their life, man. Just because they don't do it the way you do it don't mean anything. So give some mercy, give some grace to people, man. It comes back to you. It's better to give than to receive. Yeah. It says, if you will submit to God, he will lift you up. That is truth. And it's got to do with the receiving, don't it? And then, early to bed, early to rise makes one healthy, wealthy, and wise. But then I also put on there, not all that smoking and drinking and eating helps to keep one's clear mind. And I think that's true too, man. I ain't judging nobody. I ain't pointing no fingers. And I'm talking about my own life as well. And y'all know it, Just for example, with the sugar stuff, I eat way too much cakes and sugars and candies and all this stuff. And we all know that stuff ain't good for us, but we keep on doing it, you know what I mean? So I'm not pointing no fingers at nobody or blaming nobody. On the other hand, I really, these conversations of mercy and grace, sometimes it takes going through the fire to see it, that you see it. And once you get out the other side, you see somebody else going through it, and you have a different kind of perspective and a different mercy and a different grace that you give that person because you've been there, But even when you ain't been there, it's still good to give some mercy and some grace. I'm not talking about nobody taking advantage of you. I'm not talking about nothing less than. I'm talking about goodness. Good versus evil. Be good. Choose the good. Life or death. Choose life. Receive love. Receive the goodness of God. Receive the goodness of his creation, man. It's worth it. I love you, man. Like always, I'm not good with the tech stuff yet. I'm working on it still. And if you've left any comments and stuff, I haven't seen them. I'm gonna still got to get to that and go over it. So if you have and stuff, point it out to me so I can respond to it accordingly. And otherwise, I love you. I'll talk to you later. Bye.